Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in with On the Hunt with Alpen Optics. Tonight we have Jason Miles from Marysville, Indiana, who's a regular on the Break TV, and we have Mr. Rick White with us, who's going to be talking about turkey hunting in the South. And remember our great special this evening. Hey, Jason. How you doing? With me tonight, I've got Jason Miles with me. Jason, you're in Marysville, Indiana. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It says you're a regular on Break TV. Tell us a little bit about it, what channel, and kind of what you do. What do you like hunting?
Well, the Break, we're going into our 8th season now. We're on the Pursuit channel. You can find us there. And of course, you can find us on Facebook. My day job, I am a crane operator and, been hunting and fishing my whole life, but primarily, here in Indiana, turkey and deer is our biggest thing. So that's what I try to stay after the most. Get to travel and do a few extra things every now and then.
Okay. I kind of lost it there. The deer hunting and turkey, that what you do, or just mostly deer?
Do a lot of deer and turkey hunting every now and then. Actually, the latest episode on the Break was a couple of my bear hunts. Get to hunt with Mr. White there every now and then. He comes out and turkey hunts every year, and we get to do a little deer hunting as well here in Indiana.
Okay. What time of year? How's your season? When is your seasons there?
Well, turkey season comes in, middle of April towards the end. Deer season comes in October 1st for archery season. So right now it's kind of our downtime. I'm actually getting ready to head down to Mississippi to try a little southern deer hunting. Not sure how that's going to go, but going to give it a shot, see how it works.
Okay. Here in Arkansas, of course, we have the chronic waste disease, and I heard you have the EDH up there. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's the EHD. Yes, sir. It hit us pretty hard here last year. It made the last couple of seasons here in Indiana pretty tough. It really put a damper on our deer herd, and that is a disease that usually comes along with dry weather.
Okay. Is there anything that they can do? Have they found anything that can help eliminate it?
There's some people that are producing feeds and supplements that I think they're coming a little bit into the forefront now. I think it's kind of a new science as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know. I've never dealt with anything. Generally, fresh water is the biggest thing that helps that, I think, and rain, keeping some moisture out there for them. These midge gnats gather around stagnant water, and that's where the issue comes up.
Okay. Hey, Lonnie, if you don't mind, could I jump in?
Yeah, Rick, go ahead.
The hemorrhagic disease, EHD, is something that's been around for years and years. And Jason's right. Dry seasons, when the water levels drop and those deer go in to drink and they get around the muddy shorelines and stuff, they pick up this midge fly because it's a perfect breeding ground for the midge fly. And there are some supplements that they're testing right now, but there's also some things that some people put in their water that actually kill the midge fly. I don't know that anything is guaranteed at this point, but all those things help. The one thing about hemorrhagic disease, EHD versus CWD, is a deer that gets CWD cannot survive. They do not survive, and they usually die within 2 years. A deer that get hemorrhagic disease or EHD, some of those deer do survive, and thank goodness that they do. And it doesn't seem to affect the young herd near as much as the adult deer. So those are some things about that. But You know, Jason was talking turkey hunting a little bit ago, and I thought I'd maybe just jump in and ask him maybe to share a story. Maybe he'd tell you about the time he shot my blind while we were out bow hunting.
Shot your blind.
Yeah.
And we got to hear about this one, Jason.
Yeah, I think Rick's got that mixed up a little bit. I took him to the petting zoo, one of my favorite spots where, I mean, basically you just go out there and you just pick out a turkey. It's kind of like going to the supermarket, but we set our blind up, and the deal was is Rick was going to kill his turkey first. Of course, he was the guest. So of course this bird comes in, I think 5 yards, maybe 4. I don't know. It was so close. I think I could have hit it with a stick. And we were in my brand new blind, first time using it, and he shoots, and the bird takes off, and the arrow just kind of went tumbling out across the ground. And trying to figure out what happened, it didn't take too long to spot a new hole in my blind. Is what happened.
And I take it the turkey flew away.
Well, after he ran out a little bit, just kind of looked, trying to figure out what that was. A stick went flying over his head doing, somersaults. That's a pretty good story. Sometimes I like to tell him more detail.
Now, Jason, I also heard you do the hunting with disabled veterans.
It's Hoosier Hunters Helping Heroes. Generally every year. This year was a little bit of a setback because of the COVID, of course, but we generally take out between 18 and 24, usually injured or paralyzed veterans. We bring them in. They come from all over the country, and it's really a good time. It's actually been a life-changing experience.
We've got some pictures up here. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
I'm going to guess that you probably got a picture. I can't see them, but I'm going to assume
this
that
is one of the gentlemen that's got a deer by the ear in front of a sign. Triple O sign. That particular picture, these are spread out over a long period of time. I'm not sure who we're talking about, but every deer that we kill, they don't have to be big ones. And a lot of them, the ears are the only thing we've got to hold on to because they're missing horns. But these guys, a lot of them have never hunted before, and even more of them that did hunt had never hunted since they were paralyzed or injured. So any deer is a trophy when we go on this hunt. And that's it. Taking the veterans out there, they've never hunted, or it's been so long, they don't think they can hunt anymore, and you take them out, that's got to be awesome experience for you.
It really is. When we started this thing, it was me and a few buddies got together and put it together, and we really thought we were going to do something for these veterans. And I think in the long run, we found out it did a lot more for us than we ever thought it would. Maybe more for us than it did them, but it's definitely been, a huge help for a lot of those guys too.
Well, I want to thank you for doing that. And we've got a gentleman, this picture here shows a gentleman, looks like he's maybe in a blind with a coat, and he's smiling. He's got a fur or something in his hand.
Yeah, that would be Steve Miller. I was actually guiding him on that hunt, and he almost killed a deer and me that day. I don't know if he was trying harder to kill a deer or me, but the only thing we came home with that day was a crashed van of his and that little tuft of hair. That's how close we came. But me and Steve, when we get together, and you can ask Rick, Rick's got the turkey hunt with him. It's always an adventure every time.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I'm glad Rick gets to hunt with them too. That's 2 of yous. I don't do that part of it, but I get to hunt with the kids. So, I can experience some, but you guys, thank both of yous for doing what you do with the veterans.
So now here's the group shot.
And thank you for getting the kids out there. If we don't get the next generation started, there won't be anybody else out there to carry this on. And thank Bresser and Alpen too. You guys have helped us with this hunt in the past, and we
definitely
appreciate that.
Now, we just seen a picture of a large group in front of looks like a barn with a flag on it.
Yes, sir. That would be our entire group of guides and hunters that we took out last year is what that picture is. And it takes a community to make that happen. And we're very blessed that all the farmers around and, a lot of the local hunters help us out with some really good spots to take these guys. So that's just kind of a picture representing all those guys.
Now, is this just guys from Indiana or veterans from Indiana, or can any veteran apply for this, or what?
Any veteran can reach out to us on our Hoosier Hunters Helping Heroes Facebook page, and we've had them from all over the country, Oklahoma, Nebraska. We've got some guys from West Virginia, and I'm telling you, those guys are a mess. I've got to go out there and hunt a few times with them over the years, but some really good guys from all over the country that we've had the opportunity to hunt with.
Well, good. Maybe this program, you'll get some more people involved in it, because I'm sure it's like the rest of us. If you can get some help, you can take some help every once in a while too.
Help is always a huge issue, but luckily we usually have a lot of volunteers, and it usually goes over real smooth. Not sure how. It's a lot of chaos in a few days, but somehow or another we pull it off, and that happens because of the help of the community.
Well, let me know. Maybe I can be able to help you this year if I can get up there with you, because I'd love to help you.
Absolutely, we'd love to have you.
Okay. Now, Rick, we're going to get in with you here in a little bit. And talk about some turkey hunting and some maple syrup, I hear.
Well, yeah, before I get into that, let me just touch on a few things. Jason invited me a few years ago to come and help with this disabled vets hunt, and he touched on it a little bit. There's not a better feeling in the world getting these guys out. And people don't realize, unless you've done it yourself, how hard this is. I mean, these guys are in wheelchairs, and we're having to wheel them across a muddy cornfield, which, believe me, is not easy. Put them in a blind. Last year, I think, Jason, or 2 years ago, we actually had, I think it was Steve Miller in the blind, and a terrible storm came up. And I'm not kidding you, it was absolutely terrible. And within about a half hour, we had 3-4 inches of water in our blind. We were surrounded by water, and we were wondering how in the heck we were going to get everybody out of there, but we did. But there was a group of people that we actually had to go in, or some of the guys had to go in and get out because they were getting flooded. So, but a phenomenal organization, great group of guys, and a lot of fun. So, if you ever get a chance to be a part of a disabled vets hunt in whatever state you live in, I recommend you do it, because like Jason said, it actually did me more good than it probably did for them. So
yeah, there's a small group here in Arkansas. Sorry about that, Rick. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say hats off to Jason for being a part of that and getting me involved, because it's been a lot of fun. But anyways, I'm kind of in between seasons a little bit. I'm doing a little bit of predator hunting right now. I've got one more hunt to do in Kansas. We're going to do a little predator hunting, but I'm pretty much just waiting for turkey season. The only thing between now and turkey season that I like to do that really isn't hunted related is I tap my maple trees and I make maple syrup. And it's just something I've been doing for about 15 years. And, if you're one of those that has some maple trees in your yard and you've never tried it, just look it up on the internet. It's not that hard to do, and it's very rewarding. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. And I look forward to doing that every year. In fact, I'm going to up my program a little bit this year and tap about 20 more trees than I normally do. So, I'm tapping about 50 trees, and it keeps me pretty darn busy, but I love doing it. And the maple syrup, it's not that Eastern New Hampshire stuff, but it's pretty darn good. I'll tell you that.
Okay. You said you're in between seasons and doing some predator hunting. Where are you predator hunting at, Rick?
Well, like I said, my next hunt is going to be in Kansas. And then after that, I'm done with the predators, and I'm going to head down south, and I start my turkey season off in Georgia and Florida. I do that every year. And, what's really nice is I can leave Iowa, and we could have 3 feet of snow and 10 below zero, or, whatever this time of year. And, here I get down to South Georgia, and it's 70, 80 degrees, and it's turkey season right out of the gate. And there's not a better, I just love it down there. We do a little bit of fishing. We just have a good old time. Wayne Shaw, one of our staff members, I meet up with him, and we just have the best time, that we can have. And yeah, and so that's what I'm looking forward to, and which brings me to talk a little bit about product. One of the things that really benefits me when I'm down south is a good pair of binoculars, and I mean good quality, where I can actually get. And one of the specials tonight is going to be one of those quality items we're talking about, the new Tetons, but a pair of binoculars that I can gather great light from, because down in the south, when we're hunting the swamps of Florida or Georgia, it's always dark, and you've got we're hunting in palmetto groves and that kind of thing, and it's really hard to pick out objects in those palmettos. So a good, clear, light gathering pair of binoculars allows me to see definition a lot better, and it gives me more light so I can actually see into those darker pockets, which helped me tremendously when I'm setting up and wanting to get up and move, because it does not take much to bump a turkey in those kind of conditions down there.
Yeah, I was looking through this pair of binoculars we're going to have on special tonight a while ago, and looking at some back in the dark corners here in the building, and it was like the lights were on almost. It was just so amazing what a good pair of binoculars can do for you out in the woods.
Well, yeah, I mean, the true test is to pick up a good pair of binoculars and look into a dark area and just compare the detail to a lesser pair of binoculars. It's truly amazing. And, and when I talk about hunting down south, I'm fortunate, and I've hunted a lot of states in the United States, not every one of them, but quite a few of them. And people always ask me, what are the toughest turkey hunts that you do? And quite honestly, South Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, all those states like that. I mean, and there's others, but that is the hardest turkey to go out and harvest. And I've been very fortunate over the years to have good luck, but those people that live down in the swamps of Georgia, they know exactly what I'm talking about. You want a challenge, go down and hunt Georgia and Florida and places like that. Those swamps are the hardest places you'll ever call on killing a turkey there.
I figured it'd been just the opposite, Rick. I figured the ones up there around you that was more open would be harder to get.
No, these turkeys, and I hate to say it, these people from Iowa probably be listening going, that's not true. Our turkeys are pretty easy to hunt. Now, I'm not saying there's been seasons when they've been really tough. It's kind of like Jason's place over in Indiana, those places over there. Some seasons are just real simple. That's normal. But there are some years where they're really tough. It just depends on a lot of different things. But you're always up for a big challenge when you go down and hunt those swamp turkeys in the south.
Ah, okay, yeah. But you're right, optics, and it doesn't matter, turkey hunting, you're deer hunting, predator hunting, all your different optics. Get what you can get. But get a good pair, and you'll be surprised how much better your hunts can be with a good pair of optics.
Yeah, and before I talk about this week's special, let me touch a little bit on, the biggest thing I could talk about, regardless of what kind of hunting you're doing, is safety. And I'm not going to talk that tonight, but we will at some point. But
right,
those with turkey season around the corner, right now is the time of the year that people are determining what gun they're going to shoot, whether they're buying a new one or maybe they're buying a new choke tube, or they're wondering what shot they're going to shoot in their gun. And, those are all things you need to figure out. But my tip and recommendation is that whatever gun and shell and choke tube that you're shooting, shoot that gun at 50 yards, but also shoot it at 10 yards. You need to know how that gun shoots at every distance.
Yeah, you need to pattern them.
Well, you do. And you've got to also understand that over 40 yards, people, I hear them all the time, I could shoot a turkey at 60 yards. Well, not consistently you won't. And I don't recommend people shooting that far. In fact, most of the turkeys I shoot are within 20 yards, because the fun of the hunt for me is to get them in close. But you have to know how your gun shoots close, and you also need to know how it shoots at 50 yards, because there's a huge difference. And believe it or not, people can miss turkeys at 10 yards or less. It's very easy to do. So you need to know how your gun shoots.
Working with the youth in 3D shoots, that 7 to 10 yard, especially a 7-yard turkey, is the one that's most missed by everybody, because it's so close, they shoot over it every time.
Yeah, and you know what you might consider doing because of that is you know, and we sell them at Bresser and Alpen, is putting a red dot on your shotgun. I love red dots on my turkey guns, and I've got some scopes on a few of them, but I love a red dot on my turkey gun because you put that dot on the turkey's head and it's over. I mean, it's absolutely over. So, you know, you might think about that, and they're not that expensive.
Okay, Jason, you got something in there?
Yeah, the other thing I was going to say, you know, a lot of these choke tubes and stuff anymore, they've got them dialed down so tight where you can, you know, you're reaching out there at that 60 yards and people start feeling confident. You know, for me, half the fun is getting them in close. I recommend, to me, I like to have people come with, heck, bring your grandpa's shotgun if you want to. I don't care. Let's try to get them in close. But the main thing is like Rick said, I've had my son miss, and he's going to be mad at me for saying this, but we had the most turkeys I ever called in, and there was 12 toms came in. The closest one was 7 yards, and all 12 of them left for that exact reason. I mean,
so you're saying, in other words, my 28 gauge would be just fine because you're going to get them in close enough.
Absolutely. I mean, well, you can't get them too close with people like Rick. They'll shoot your blind. But other than that, I mean, that's part of the fun, you know. And I think a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on, I can shoot him. Killed one at 75 yards. Well, okay, but I'd be a lot more impressed if you told me you killed him at 3.
Yeah.
That's just my. But you got to shoot those guns because as tight as those chokes are, you're shooting a shot wad out there that it hadn't even left the wad yet. So you're shooting something the size of a quarter out past their head at 5 yards.
Correct.
You know, there's a lot of people, 410s are getting pretty popular in the turkey woods. But you know, the thing is, you got to check with every state and find out what the regulations are. Because here in Iowa, you can't use a 410 for turkey season. But the states that are allowing it, people are starting to shoot 410s and having a lot of luck with those as well.
Well, and that's kind of like my 28 gauge. You know, it wasn't that, it used to be years ago. It was very popular. Anymore, it's not, or it's coming back. But I enjoy shooting it because I can put a box of shells in my pocket and I can go most of the day with, you know, just one box of shells.
Yeah. Yeah. And here in Iowa, you can't use a 28 gauge for turkey either. So you just need to know how that works. But, you know, whatever combination you're shooting, you know, and everybody has their favorite gun and their favorite choke and their favorite shell. And once they've done all the homework and they find out what shoots good with their combination, there's really no reason to shoot anything else. Just go out and have fun and be patient and be safe, I guess.
Okay. Hey, Rick, you want to tell us about our special here tonight? I've got it up here, and I'll let you tell them about it tonight.
All right. Well, before I do, it's the Alpen Tetons. And let me just say this, in my opinion, for the money, there is not a better pair of optics out there, in my opinion. And I'm basing that on the fact of the use that I've used them over the years. But the Alpen Tetons, okay, Abbey Koning prisms, okay, and what that is most binos transmit about 50 to 60% of available light, but the Abbey prisms capture 95% of available light. So it's a huge difference. ED glass, waterproof, lifetime warranty, excellent binoculars, okay? So this week, it's the Teton 8x42s.
Yes.
Regular price, $699.99. Now through Sunday at midnight, half price, going to sell them at $350. So once again, normal price $699.99. Going to sell them for $350. And all you got to do is go to bresserusa.com or alpen.com. And on the promo code, just type in On the Hunt, low case, no spacing, and you'll get the 50% discount. And these are by far, in my opinion, the best binoculars for the money, especially at this price.
Yeah, I was talking to the guys here, you know, the lenses that's on these, I have a color shade deficiency in my eyes. And these things bring out brilliant color that I normally don't see. You know, like, you know, the hunter orange when you're hunting, it's hard for me to see it. The chartreuse green is legal in Arkansas. So that's what I use, But these binoculars, they bring them colors out for me. So that's something you need to think about if you have a color shade deficiency. These things will work for you.
That ED glass is polished all the way out to the end. So as you're looking around the border of the lenses, you're actually seeing focused objects where an inexpensive pair would be blurry around the edge. So something to check out as well. And again, don't forget, lifetime warranty and waterproof.
Yeah, register them within 60 days. You got a lifetime warranty on them. So, Jason, yeah. What do you, I know you have to use optics, and I ain't heard you talk about them yet. What do you think?
Well, I've got a pair of those Tetons myself, and like Rick said, I used to be the guy that was the tightwad. I'd go to Walmart, pick me a pair of binoculars, and I thought they were all the same. And actually just, working with Rick a little bit, and he's put a couple of pairs of binoculars in my hands, and I won't go to the woods with anything less anymore. And honestly, when I started thinking about spending $300, $400, $600 or more on a pair of binoculars, I thought that's crazy. I'll put that towards a new gun or something. But man, after having them in my hand, no, that's probably one of the most important pieces of hunting equipment I've got, and I will not go to the woods without it.
It's just as important as the firearm. A good set of optics.
Yeah, and 20 years ago, I'd have told you I don't need binoculars. Of course, my eyes were a little better then too, and I was a lot younger. But
I think he's poking at us there, Rick.
Well, yeah,
oh, no.
maybe. And you gotta remember that the hunting is really all about the experiences that you have while you're on the hunt. It's not, being successful is just icing on the cake.
Yeah.
For me, I want to see and enjoy everything in the outdoors, and good optics just help me see and enjoy more.
You said it right then, Rick. The harvest of the hunt, that's the icing on the cake. It's everything that leads up to it. That's what, and being outside, that's what is so great about hunting.
And a good pair of binoculars lets you see a whole lot more of that. A lot of the stuff that you've been missing out there,
That's what I'm finding out.
Absolutely. It makes your hunt so much more enjoyable when you've got something to watch, because you can actually see it, without good binoculars, you're missing a lot of the hunt.
Correct. I'm lucky in a way. I've got 5 acres, back up to 1,600, something like that. So I have a lot of wildlife on my place, and a good set of binoculars, hey, there ain't nothing better.
And they're good to take to the beach with you too. There's a lot of good scenery at the beach too.
Watching, beach watching.
Yeah, there ain't too many birds at the beach, is there?
Oh yeah. Okay, Rick, any last words from you tonight?
No, I think what I'll do is
recipe, next week, Rick.
Well, I think I'll wait till next week and give a really good turkey recipe. That gives everybody time to get their pencils and papers down and write it down. It's a fantastic recipe. Next week on the show, I've got Brenda Valentine coming on.
Valentine, all right.
And I believe Lance, who used to work with you guys there, and he's part of our pro staff, McCrutchen, he'll be on as well, I believe. So
okay.
Brenda Valentine next week, and he's a whole lot prettier to look at than Jason is. So I'm looking.
A lot easier than me too. Yeah. So, okay, thank you, gentlemen, and thank you all for watching, tuning in tonight. And remember, go to On the Hunt with Alpen Optics, and key this in and get these great binoculars for half price. Thank you all for tuning in.
Good optics are a must for a hunter. The new Alpen Tetons. They're lighter, they're better in low light, excellent glass. You'll be hard pressed to find that glass for under $1,000. Everything that you would want in a pair of optics. I know what I'm looking for, and once I know what I'm looking for and find what it is, that's what I'm interested in buying. The bottom line is they're affordable, they're lighter, and they're great in low light, the new Alpen Tetons. Another deer coming out. You know, good optics are a must for a hunter, particularly binoculars, not only during hunting season, but times like this when it's time to start scouting. But there's one thing you need to do when you get your binoculars that a lot of people don't realize. You need to set them up for yourself. Everybody's eyes are a little bit different. And here's how I do it. It's simple and easy. Just take the binoculars and just kind of grab good focus on an object. And I go and put my hand over the left lens. The diopter ring, which is on the right side, I will go ahead and adjust that until that right eye is in focus. Once it is, I take the hand off the other side, both eyes in focus, and you're ready to go. It's simple and easy, and it's a must that you do this before you go out and use them.